it's working again. Cause I'm just trying it with the old settings that I did instead of the restream and seeing if that works. Still not seeing anything. This is making me really mad.
Hmm.
But sad mad. Because I'm like, no, look, so we're live. We're live again. There. It looks like it. Um, let's double check that we're live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. We're live on. So I guess we just go
Yeah,
now?
why don't you just press record anyway, just in case we lose it again?
Yeah, I'm going to do. And I'm going to say recording in progress. Like the Zoom. All right, let's get to where we were. We were at, and we're recording now. Welcome back. If this is back, it looks like we're recording. If not, we can upload this later. So we were at the prophets, and so we had already scored on the prophets. We had done. Oopsie, wrong button. We had scored as far as canon impact and real world cultural impact. The Prophet slash Rates got fives for both of those, which averaged with the averaged power and worship score got them to a 29, which is the highest score that you can get. And we are we're trying to be academic. We're following the rules here. We're not being biased despite our, I suppose, Star Trek religious type practice. Um,
We are Siskinites.
we are.
This is I've actually created a logo. But I think what the reasons why that we scored so high, especially on the cultural impact, is that Cisco was the first black man to be that leader in space.
Yes.
The Star Trek, canon needs it first, as well as, what that meant. And then the fact that he's referenced again in Star Trek Academy, as the emissary to help another emissary, Sam, both of those combined really kind of showed that still exists outside of that realm. And
He mattered beyond just that one show, and the one character to, um, a lot of different people. And yeah, he was our first black commander, of because he didn't become they didn't make him a captain for a while.
yeah,
uh
he got his captain, a lot later. But, that first leadership position, I think the only ever time in that time period in the 90s that I had seen, you know, there was a black president, and I was like, in Sequest. That was the show. Sequest
oh, and
had
he was uh the Riker, the first officer, from what I
yes.
remember. And all by the book and straight laced, and very military and not as easygoing as the captain. But I love Sequest. So
Sequest was
um
great. So, we actually had to really think about how not just it wasn't just the prophets, but the Paul race as well, and thinking about these iconic characters of like Gul Dukat is like probably one of the best villains in all Star Trek history, and he's
well
just so well done, and that cannot be matched.
and it was
No.
definitely agreed that, that as far as canon impact, that we believe fully that the Pa Wraiths had very much something to do with the occupation of Bajor, with the Cardassian occupation of Bajor. Like, it's it's exactly like something that they would want. and their emissary is the person who was in charge of it all.
And it's
So,
very gold to cut, and then even now, like we're referencing, Kaiwin and the Cisco here in Trek Talk, and these characters have had long lasting impacts, and even just that occupation of Bajor has had lasting impact on the canon of Star Trek since DS9 came out. So we're still kind of seeing some of that in the newer shows.
yeah.
So we scored this high,
And
and that's
yeah, we also, everyone missed the hymns that we came up with. The beautiful music. Because our praise songs for Cisco, because we don't worship the the prophets or the pirates. That's not what we're about. No, we're about the Cisco.
Cisco.
He was
And
born because they met him. Like, have you ever met someone so great that you're like, I gotta make sure he's born? And and like, not only that, but like they hadn't ever really met anyone before that point, right?
no,
Because they, and so like, not only was he like pretty much the first guy that they met ever, they were like, this guy, yeah, he's great. He's not only the first guy we've ever met, we love him so much, we're gonna make sure that he's born. We're
he's
the
a
reason. We're
teaching
gonna
on
be, we're, you know what? I love this guy so much, I'm gonna be his mom.
I knew you before you were born.
That in and of itself makes him deserve such high praise, because it's like, wow, I mean, like, I know people who love me, but do people love me so much that they are willing to traverse
Been
space
space and
time
time.
to ensure my birth? I'm just
Listen,
saying. Yeah. No, you're
I'm just
right.
saying,
Yeah.
he works real hard with his two jobs, head of the mall, and emissary, magical Negro to the
Mhm.
max.
A
So
single
whatever.
dad who works two jobs, who loves his kid and never stops. You think
And
Cisco would
even
like
wonder,
Reba?
does he like hit cute? He's got a gentle heart, soul of a fighter.
Fighter. He's a
Right.
survivor. Well, he did survive Wolf
Yeah,
359. He
yeah.
definitely did. And not a lot of people could say that they did.
Nope.
And I will say that despite all of the awful things that happened to him with that, he actually turned out much better than, oh, you haven't seen it. There is like a PTSD captain of the Titan in that final season of Picard, that he hates Picard because of Wolf 359. And it's just like, yeah, that was a really long time ago, and why have you not had therapy?
Therapy exists in Star Trek, okay?
It exists. And like, not only does it exist, but wow, I'm going off on a train right now, but I'm going to go there.
Do it.
Not
Butter your
only
cook.
does it exist, but in the very, very first episode of DS9, they're at a recovery type of thing. They've been doing
Mhm.
therapy, they've been working through this on Earth.
Mhm.
When he gets the offer to take over this small space station, this unimportant space station. This is supposed to be just like some light lifting, getting him back into things, not in space travel, because he wants his son to be safe. Um, so he's just gonna take this like mall general manager job,
Exactly. He's like, this is
and
easy, you
yeah,
know.
like this ain't gonna be
Helping
hard. I can
Bajorans
do this.
get back on their feet. This is not.
But he
Not a heavy lift.
spent like at least a couple of years in recovery for that. I mean, and he still, I mean, it does suck because he went through like a couple of years of recovery, and then the first person he's uh face to face with is Locutus of Borg,
Who's like, get over it. Yeah,
who's
I get it.
like, who's like, oh, do we know each other? And he's like, yeah. Also, don't say that, Jean Luc. Don't say
Jean
that.
knew who he was. He saw his
Damn
bio.
well. You know damn well who he is. Don't pretend like you're like, oh. Do you know how many people's lives were affected by Wolf 359? Most of them.
Most.
Like if that's another idea for a future like rank is like canon altering events like Wolf 359, like some like things in the um Klingon Federation War, like those type of things. Cuz like to say like, "Oh, you weren't connected to you were absolutely not connected to probably one of the biggest attacks that has happened to the Federation in 100 years. Be for real, man."
Right. And you're just like, oh, do we know each other? Oh my god. It's such a
Must
white
be.
man response.
I was gonna say, it must be so privileged to be like, oh, I guess I don't have to think about that time I killed 50,000 people.
Oopsies. It wasn't me, okay? I'm not really like that. It wasn't me. And then,
I mean, the thing is that it wasn't him, but also it was him and everyone else. So, like, I'm gonna say, like, this was your choice because if you were in a collective, you gotta vote.
you did. You got to vote. And then you were doing freaky stuff with the Borg Queen, so I don't want to hear it. Like,
Yeah, like, I don't think you cared. I don't think it mattered, to Picard, until he saw an actual like the thing is that I think that Picard was probably lived a relatively privileged career where he didn't have to go face to face with many of the victims of 359 because um because every time it happens he's like, oh, and I would imagine that it would happen every day.
I would think it's as huge as that was. I know we're on this track, but still, it's like as huge as that was, and how that shaped Cisco in such a kind of like very specific way, right? We find things about Jennifer, and like she was meant to die, and
To get him, she had to die so that he could suffer, then move and take
and
over as
keep the
general manager
process
of the mall and also head Jesus.
right. That's how he becomes his magical Negro art starts with, women as plot device.
Right.
But she's also a godlike creature, so it's fine. But she doesn't really have powers. She just exists.
Yeah,
As one of
she just is.
She
I
just
mean,
is.
which is not bad, I suppose, but
She was created to meet the Cisco because he met the prophets. Then they have a baby who is also like
right.
a god.
First comes love, then comes marriage.
Yeah.
Then comes little Jakey. 11,000 lives, by the way. Picard is like, oh. I mean, actually, no, to be real, I suppose it would make sense that he does not know every single person he says he did. He says he does. Like, he claims that he looked over the full man of,
Isn't
of the
that like
40.
you're just making those paintings of the soldiers who died in
Oh my
the
God. Yes. Yes.
That's amazing.
It is absolutely, yeah, G Dub making those portraits being such a good guy, guys. He's such a good guy. And the paintings aren't that bad either.
They're actually pretty
They
good.
actually are
Right.
pretty good. Um, I was gonna.
Referential, so he can follow a template. Do you know what I mean? So like, I get
Well,
it.
yeah, yeah. I looked at it. I went, oh. I mean, he's got a lot of time on his hands. It makes sense that it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. And so it would make sense that if you keep doing something long enough, that you might be all right at it. Now let's move on. It's a huge change
That's a
in
great
topic.
segue.
But we're going to talk about the ages slash the travelers. Um, as far as I am concerned, in my little fantasy brain, the only group of people that I could theoretically be a part of, with these godlike creatures, because uh, they recruit from Earth and Romulus, apparently,
It's
and
like
that's
an
it.
MLM. They
Yeah,
give MLM vibes.
it's an MLM. But let me read my thing about them, which is a multi-tiered organization of beings operating across space and time, guiding the development of civilizations. The ages supervise. The travelers are their operatives, capable of moving through space, time, and thought simultaneously. Placed agents like Gary Seven on Developing Worlds, Earth, mentored Wesley Crusher into transcending human existence. Also, around 4000 BC is when they began to abduct humans and Romulans to train their descendants as elite agents. So that's also really, I just want to, 4000 BC. So both Romulans and humans were not very hugely developed societies. Um, and they were being kidnapped by aliens and trained to be their agents through space and time. And if Prodigy is anything to say, it did sometimes make people a little. Maybe Wesley's just like that. I love Wesley. I'm Team Wesley. I'm just saying.
Wesley as well.
I think that
I
when
mean,
you transcend human existence, sometimes weird things can happen to your brain.
I think that is also true. Like how much can the brain actually hold, right? Before now you're in front of people and you're the weird dude going like spacing out all the time,
Well, he
weird stuff.
and yeah, he had a lot of he had problems. Well, I think Wesley always had problems connecting to
Yeah.
people, to humanity. Um
It wasn't his mom or Deanna Troy, then Guinan helped him a lot, but I think they had a very interesting relationship. Um,
he had a lot of moms and a lot of dads on that ship. Riker was
yeah,
his dad for a little bit of time.
yeah.
And when his mom was like, I'm gonna go back to Earth. You stay here, kiddo. And he was like, that sounds great. I am 15 years old, and the last thing I want to do is hang out with my mom. Um, I think
Hey, my mom.
anyone would make that choice, even if their mother was Beverly Crusher. And I love Beverly Crusher, but anyone would
The
make that
actual
choice.
captain, um, which is what I call her. But
Hmm.
that woman knows everything about aliens and how to.
And gave birth to uh agent of gods, an angel. Is that what an angel is?
Sort of, yeah. They're
Huh.
kind of more the warriors,
Yeah,
rather.
yeah. And well, like, I think that technically, well, they don't fight. The travelers don't really fight. That's not really their thing. But but they must have some sort of force of some kind that
More like probably like a guardian angel where they've got to like pull people away from the Mack truck at certain times or not and be like, yeah,
well, again, I do, and
I'm mine.
I Claudia does not like that we are talking about Picard, but I do have to reference Picard again because of the uh traveler agent that is in um that is featured in there, and how, like, she was a Romulan agent, so she was a little more like, yeah, I mean, sometimes people die. The way that Romulans are kind of
Yeah.
like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, people die, and sometimes that's because of me. Which is probably why they have both humans and Romulans as agents.
Good
But
balance. It's like you
definitely
need the fullness of a Romulan versus, the emotions of the humans. And the two together is a good balance.
absolutely. Now, let's judge them on their canon impact. So, do they affect the overall universe and individuals in an important way? I would
Yes.
say yes, in what is probably a very hands-off way. Um, because they try not to directly put their hands into things, but they also, again, I'm sorry, Claudia, I gotta talk about, and this is actually season two of Picard.
Sorry.
Um,
Well, we
I'm
talked about
sorry
that.
about that, but like, there is a character who is, um, keeps getting fed information, through the net from some mysterious person, and that mysterious person ends up being Wesley Crusher. Because he's going to, and then he recruits this person. It's dumb. It
I would
doesn't matter.
say I would give it a 5.
I'd say so too, because I would say they are definitely, they are also some of the people. It's stated in the Strange New Worlds episode tomorrow that there's some of the people that keep stopping people from trying to kill Khan Noonien, the Khan man, because people keep trying to go back in time and do a let's kill Hitler type of situation. People keep trying to do that, and then there are people like the travelers, like the Starfleet time travel people who stop those folks. Um, and so like that's pretty. Now I will say real world cultural impact. No one really knows who they are in the real world. I mean, like us, they're like super niche. They were featured, a couple of times on Picard and twice on TNG, and technically a whole bunch on Prodigy, but that was mostly just Wesley.
They're not really
But
referenced.
nothing about them themselves. Nobody talks about them.
Right.
Um,
It's I would give it a 2.
I give them a two as well. I agree on the two. Like, yeah, like as far as in canon, yeah, but like outside, like no one knows who they are. Really nice guys though. They do seem really nice, don't they?
They seem nice. I
They
would.
always seem really
No,
nice. Like I'm like, well, I don't like. I don't think they're not bad. All right, y'all. Now we're moving on to Apollo. Apollo and the Greek gods, because according to Star Trek, Apollo and the ancient gods are members of an advanced species who visited Earth in antiquity and were worshipped as Greek gods. They're capable of energy projection, size alteration, matter manipulation via an organ unique to their species. Um, which is just really funny, I think. Also,
organ.
yeah, they got a little organ.
Now we're
Apollo
calling it these days.
Apollo is the last survivor, having waited on Pollux 4 for humanity to return. From where, I don't know. Michael Frost, who is the actor who played Apollo, this is a little bit of extra information that I got in here. He is one of the few original actors to reprise his role decade later, playing an aging Apollo in the 2013 fan-produced episode Pilgrim of Eternity from Star Trek Continues. Now, I will say, I have opinions on fan made stuff, which is I want people to keep making them, and maybe I'll like it and maybe I won't. People should still make it though because it's important. But it is
Especially
kind
if,
of cool that he played an old man in
yeah.
2013. He's like that's kind of fun. And like yeah, maybe he lost he was losing his power or something interesting like that. Now, as far as judging this though, oopsie, I keep clicking the wrong thing. There we go.
Yeah. Criteria here. Do they affect the overall universe and individuals in an important way? I think we only.
I mean, we get to see how disrespectful Kirk is to women. Get a
That's
hold of yourself. I mean, and I've said it. I have said. I think I said it to you that I wish that worked. Like I wish that was the cure to my crippling generalized anxiety disorder. That someone could just shake it out of me. That would be amazing. But
Does it fall out like little chunks of coal or something? And
get a hold of yourself. Oh my gosh, you're right. I shouldn't be with this. I should not be with this all-powerful, immortal being who just like wants to give me power. I should go and work as a yeoman on this ship. No, I don't want to hang out with this hot guy who has a whole planet to ourselves and we can do anything. Plus, I could be like really giant because that sounds like fun.
competing with you on a ship doing what? Looking at aliens? That doesn't.
Getting you coffee, handing you papers because it's TOS era. So it's like I'm like what handing you that clipboard. You need a clipboard. You need a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like or a god. Like now I will say as far as the score goes, I'm thinking like I mean like nothing. This is a 1. Like
One.
this is
It's
a
definitely a
1. He like they were like didn't they just left him. I'm like, what? Yeah, like they're like, no, they beat him. I mean, not as easily as others. They had to do Troy and stuff. And gaslit the lady like betraying him. Which sucks because like she really liked him and he was nice to her. So I just don't think that that's very fair. But so he's rejected. He doesn't have powers, so and then he just kind of drifts off and fades away. And so he never comes back. So and yeah, I think especially because his episode is like let me double check. I believe it's like very early. Oh, it's season 2. It's actually season 2. So actually in the middle of the good times of Star Trek, actually. Of the original series. Because once they hit season 3 it was not very good. But yeah, this is a 1. And also for real world cultural impact, no one ever well no. People will kind of reference the trope of gods being aliens.
Right.
That's like a trope, but this is just an example of a trope. It's not really any kind of cultural impact. So like unfortunately again, I think that might be a 1 as well. So,
yeah.
16.5. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, Apollo and the ancient.
But again, we're being
great
fair.
Stories, though. Y'all are messed up.
I love Greek like Greek myth tellings and stuff. I think they're super fun. I do think that people need to kind of move past the whole Eurydice blah 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 story because like it's at this point like I've heard it so many times that like it's great like it's like yeah, it's just a story that they keep remaking. I know why, because if it works culturally, it's a story that hits us, then we want to see it over and over again. But like find a new one. Cass,
today, so I'm like yawning crazy. Sorry.
I was totally gonna take a nap, then a friend called me and we talked on the phone, and so
I had to clean
and
up
I sat on
my sink leaked water everywhere, and I had to spend the rest of the afternoon cleaning it up. It was not fun.
No. I'm against that.
Not built for this.
I'm against that. So now we're on Kess. Kess. Kess, who, oddly enough, is a character that was not super popular while she was on the show, and I think has gotten more people sort of, um, I think more people like her a little bit more than after she stopped being on the show. But I think she's, in on Voyager, just another example of a poorly utilized character. Voyager had a
Yeah.
lot of really good characters that were poorly utilized. Um,
Ensign Kim was one of them.
Ensign Kim
like.
was one of them. Seven of Nine is one of them. They and I will say again, sorry, so sorry for this reference, but they finally used her right in Picard. She's dope in Picard. She's really good. Like she's so
From what
good.
I thought, she was so cool. Before Luna just like closed the computer.
Yeah, she's great. Like if it was just called Seven, I would watch it.
She needs her own show.
It was so she's great, but like I mean even Janeway was poorly utilized. Chakotay was poorly utilized. I'd say Tom Paris was all right. They did okay with him. I think they did okay with Tuvok. Um B'Elanna
Just.
Torres was also poorly utilized. Like sometimes they got it right, sometimes they didn't.
Yeah.
Kess's standalone episodes are, I think, some of the best episodes of her run. Honestly,
Yeah.
I really like those ones. But let me read the little thing about Kess, which is an Ocampan whose natural lifespan was 9 years, but whose telepathic and psychokinetic abilities developed far beyond her species norm under Voyager's influence, eventually reached a state of near-space ascension, shedding her physical form and propelling Voyager 9,500 light years closer to home in the process. She returned years later in fury, older, embittered, and powerful enough to travel back in time and attempt to hand Voyager over to the Vidians. In an alternate timeline, she marries Tom Paris and has a daughter named Linus, who married Carrie Kim, and a grandson named Andrew. And I am so glad that never happened. I'm so glad that never happened.
Why did they keep putting this woman into weird romantic relationships? Like they did it with her and Neelix, which was just bizarre.
She needed to be someone. She needed to be with someone who had a short lifespan the way that she did. Like maybe another Ocampan. Like I know that they tried. They did that. They made the Ocampan a creep.
Yeah.
But I think that like maybe she could have met like an actual another Ocampan who was trying to develop his powers, and then they decided to run off together. And I just think that I mean if they had done that, then the episode Fury wouldn't have needed to happen. And I did like that episode.
But it's also like during that time period, the insistence of putting the women into romantic relationships just for the sake of doing it for the writing, it just felt like a very 90s, early aughts kind of writing trope that I really just hate. Like, just let them be cool, powerful women on their own. And
Yeah, like can't Kess just be Kess
yeah,
without yeah, like why did she need to be Neelix's girlfriend?
right.
Cuz again, I think that 9 years, so I say that their natural lifespan is 9 years, but 9 years is on the late side. Late side. A lot of Ocampans live till they're about like 7. Um and she was found when she was two. And as far as we could tell, Neelix was far past early maturation. He was most likely in his late 30s, 40s.
Yeah.
As a character, he was an old man and she was a kid, and that's gross. Uh and that's my opinion. And I'm glad that she became a goddess because she needed to get away from those creeps. And here's the thing. Tom Paris though never ever he thought Kess was cute, and he thought that it was weird that she and Neelix were together.
He always mentioned it. I think he saw her as like the
He saw
little
her as like
sister
a
mom.
little sister, yeah,
Yeah,
and like the storyline where they got together because B'Elanna died,
yeah.
and since she didn't die, he that the circumstances that brought them together never happened. But yeah, he saw her as kind of like a kid sister. He thought she was cute, but she was 2 years old.
Yeah, he kind of recognized that. The Playboy is the one who recognizes this, which is hilarious
Yeah,
as far as
he taught because Neelix got mad when Tom Paris offered to teach her how to fly a shuttle because he's a pilot. That's actually not weird. That's actually not
weird.
weird. That's a nice thing to do because she doesn't know how to do anything.
She doesn't have any skills and she's just on the ship doing nothing.
Well, she's
So
helping out the doctor. She's pretty good at science because her brain works really fast and she can learn things really quickly. And she likes science and growing and
does like the
medicine.
doctor a lot, but
But
like
she wanted to learn how to she wanted more practical skills like flying a shuttlecraft. She's like, that's not something I know how to do, and that's not something. And like Neelix is like, oh, don't worry, pet. I'll do. What did he call Sweetums or
Williams or something like that. It was
yeah.
weird.
Um,
No, I want to learn how to do things on my
and
own.
then Tom went over Neelix's head and offered to teach, and then that turned into conflict. That I think
Weird.
eventually ended with Neelix realizing he doesn't get to decide what happens with Kes, and that Tom is not interested in Kes. That I think that was the end of the conflict. But like
It's like bizarre. This
weird.
is a plotline of the weird, jealous boyfriend of when you're an old man with a child. I don't know. It's just like, uh,
It's it's like that Demi Lovato song. What's that something 3017? Have you heard it?
there you go.
It's good. It's actually a very good song. But yeah. But let's talk about impact, canon impact. Does Cass affect she did and she didn't?
Yeah. So she helps the ship move forward 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So that does count for something as like an impact, at least on Voyager. Um,
So I think that, and because I think her existence is made far more impact than a one-off appearance. She was on the show for the first two, 5 seasons. Well,
yeah.
4 seasons. Uh, she only was in that first episode of um,
Yeah, you
season
do really,
5, and in that last episode in the in Fury and season 7. But like, yeah,
yeah. And you do miss her presence in the show when she's not there. The dynamics are not the same.
I think now I know that behind the scenes it was a they got 7, and so then they were trying to decide who to cut, and it was between Kes and Harry Kim, and they chose Harry Kim, and I get why, and I love Harry Kim too. I will say though that Harry Kim's standalone episodes are not as good as Kes's. And that is a fact. The only really good standalone episode that is Harry Kim is Timeless,
Yeah.
and that is it. That's it.
Yeah.
And Kes has several. I really like the one where she was the man, that warlord, where
Yeah.
she was the possessed warlord. I was like, holy shit, this actress. Also,
So good.
Kes. I mean, it was great. So I'm gonna say, canon impact. I mean, I'm not gonna. It's not
It's
the
not mine.
profits, but I'd say a 3, maybe.
I wanted to say it too.
Maybe it's just because I like her. I
I
think you're
love
probably
Pratt.
right. No, no, no. I think you're
I
probably right,
fucking love him.
but I think
But
you're probably right, and I think I was deciding on. I was judging a little bit because I was like, that poor thing, like
he's a poor
with that
soul.
old boyfriend, that poor little girl with that old boyfriend. I want to give her another point, but you're right. I'd say a two for canon impact. Now, real world cultural impact, people talk about that age gap relationship a lot, and I think that that has more impact real world than her actual character.
And, Voyager has also gotten like a resurgence, and people miss her as a character and as an actress because we don't really see her after this. And she's had like a really rough time. So, really kind of thinking about that as part of pop culture, she's referenced many, many times.
Yeah. Which I think I'm like, it's interesting how I think that her real world cultural impact is higher than her canon impact, because I think that as far as Star Trek goes, I think she's a very important character that has made an impact to the show itself. Like
Yeah.
as far as that goes, I do think they treated her really badly after the show as well. But well, before, during, after. I mean, I don't think that they were particularly kind to the
Yeah.
actress, but I would say her real world cultural impact is probably at a three.
Yeah.
Um, I would say a three. Yeah. Um, I do. I do love Kess though.
I do love Cass.
Like, you know, it's interesting how oftentimes when you can really tell a character when they have to play possessed. You can tell how good an actor they are. And I say
Yes.
that because one of the best performances on Star Trek that William Shatner ever did was when he played that lady who possessed his body, when in the timeline women couldn't be captains, and so she took over his body. And I have to say, some of the best acting I've ever seen. I mean, it was so like dramatic. It was campy. It was he was just like, I'm a lady and this is what I think women are. And maybe it might be offensive. I don't know. I think it is. I think it's as good as when Kess played a man.
Yeah.
It was like body physicality. It was voice, pitch,
Yeah.
and tone, cadence is
Exactly.
fantastic.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna have to watch that episode.
Same. I do have a funny William Shatner story. I once met a guy who was William Shatner's stuntman. And one day he was going to do a stunt with a motorcycle. He brought this girl that he wanted to impress on set. And he said he knew when he hit the ramp that things were going to go really badly. And so he crashed and broke his neck. And William Shatner just comes running to him and is holding his hand and like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. And the girl's like, oh my god. And then she looks at William Shatner and says, I've always wanted to meet you. And he said he was laying there. He couldn't feel anything. He just started laughing, and that's when he knew his life was gonna be okay.
I've always wanted to meet you.
I've always
Oh,
wanted to meet you.
bless, bless.
Not are you okay? Guys,
Just like,
I'm looking at William Shatner like,
I mean, I think about it and I go, how would I react to that? Now, okay, it's time to go to the Trek rank board
the
because
rank.
we've finished everything. So I want you to say the word this time.
Right.
Whatever your go is.
Engage.
We're here on the Trek rank board. So let's start with the first one. We had bad. Well, we're gonna take a look. We're gonna start at the lowest. Well, let's start at the. Do we want to work from the bottom to the top?
No.
From the top to the bottom. So the highest score is. Let me just blip him away. The highest score is the Prophets. Oh, well, what do you know? I randomly put these in place, and this just ended up there. That was easy.
By
Wasn't
magic,
that
by
easy?
accident.
Oopsie. I actually did do it by accident, and then I thought it was funny, and I didn't move it. Um, because I was just trying to like put them in random spots, and I was like, "That's funny." Now, next we have The
Q, 25.
Q at 25. There you are, Q. And let's put you at number 9 right there. Next.
We have, it's close, but by a half of a point. We
Wow. I saw that.
the Ages and the Travelers with our Wesley Crusher.
That's bananas. Well, there you are. Half by point 0.5.
Point 5.
We have the travelers, which means that the
Organic.
Organians, you know, with their velour tracksuits, their matching velour suits.
Gotta love it.
I
Gotta
love it
love it.
too. They're at our 7. And next we have.
Yes.
Oh, wait. No, we missed some.
No,
Didn't we miss one? Oh, wait. No, we didn't. Kess.
no.
Now, Kess. You're better at numbers than me, anyway. Now, Kess. Bam. Good job.
Damn. And then
Ranking better than I originally thought she would.
we have the Metrons. Oh,
Looking so good.
so fly.
Oopsie. Let me fix that. There we go. Metrons. If we were just judging off of their look, they'd be the Cisco. They are the Cisco of looking of like
Yeah.
slaying looks, serving looks.
It's like, hi, you're coming in human form.
Oh, this? Oh, this? Now, next was.
Happy.
That was Badgie. There's Badgie. Hey, little guy.
Magic.
Now, that puts us at
And now it's
the final one is
Apollo.
Apollo and the Ancient Gods, and they are our lowest score. Now I see. Now we have them all listed here. Are there any on this list that you just think are the worst of all of these? I kind of feel like Apollo and the Ancient Gods deserve to be lower on this than they are. Than just like, because I think that as far as the characters go, that they are. I think that they are significantly less than Badgie.
Well, yeah, by like 2.5 points.
And so I'm like, I feel like that should drop them a little bit lower.
Yeah.
They're the only that might drop them all the way down to actually the win, because if I was going by how I have been eliminating, um, uh, the Apollo Ancient Gods probably would have been cut off of the list. Although technically Badgie would have been too. Because
Yeah.
I would have cut Badgie and the Apollo off just because they hit the teens, and
Right.
that's me being like, that's how I was cutting everyone off. I was like, not you, not you. But I do think that as characters, I think that he did kind of suck.
It wasn't the greatest, but I wouldn't put him at a 1. I just wouldn't do that.
He's not the worst. I mean, because like, what did he do when he lost? When he lost the girl, and got tricked by the Enterprise. He's just like, fine, I'll just go be dust. He
Right.
didn't try to destroy anybody.
Like, peace out. You guys aren't. You guys suck.
Yeah,
Uh,
he was just like, fine, I don't even want to play with you guys. I don't even want to hang out with you guys. You suck. You all hurt my feelings.
took my girl. Oh,
I had this great girl, and now she doesn't even want to hang out with me. She would rather hand you coffee and a clipboard.
no, not worth it. Not
And also, whatever happened to her? She definitely got reassigned.
had to.
Well, if I worked for Starfleet, any kind of Starfleet command, I would definitely reassign her because was definitely compromised, like 100% compromised. Not someone that we want.
Get under the influence of the gods. You gotta go. You're not Starfleet material.
I mean, because it's not like she was. It's not like she was under mind control. Lots of
Right.
people get mind controlled by ancient beings. It happens all the time
The hazards of the
in
job.
yeah,
Intertwined.
like in the Star Trek verse, people sometimes get controlled by, powerful beings, and then they, hurt their friends, and it's a thing, but like people get over it and everyone is friends at the end of the day. But she was just like, he's a god and
Like,
he is nice to me.
hi.
He's not. Ooh, do you remember?
Power.
Did you ever see that when that video series that Quinta Brunson made when she was first on the internet? She would play this like, "Ooh, he got money." When
Okay, so,
when it was like he would get like the large popcorn and she'd be like, "Ooh." And I think that maybe that yeoman got a little bit of that, but also
that whole like, this is nice.
this is
No roaches in
nice.
here. Nice.
Nice.
There's no triple.
Ooh, I
What?
like these columns.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I would fire her, or at least move her to Earth. I'd be like, yeah, girl, you should not travel in space. There are so many overly powered beings that exist around. We've just ranked just the ones that are considered godly. But there are so many other higher beings, evolved beings that like she would get scammed so easy.
Yeah.
Like
So
I bet she'd fall in love with Kevin. Y'all remember Kevin? Kevin Uxbridge?
I don't think she would because Kevin is not
Actually,
really
no, because he's just like, because
and like
he's
kind
not
of fat.
handsome. He wears sweaters and he's a homebody.
Yeah, that's like, but that trickster god would love her.
No, I think she would think that she liked Kevin because she'd be like, he can make anything. And then she would find out that all he wants to do is sit in the yard. The yard just being that green square on a completely
Okay.
blank planet, on a barren planet with no one else there. Like at first she'd walk in and she'd be like, "Ooh, I like this house." And then she'd be like, "Is that oh,
Is
oh,
it?
oh, Captain? Have you guys left yet?
Be like, pick me up.
Can you come get me? Can you
Hello?
come get me?" I was kidding. I was
Oh,
kidding. It was a joke. I was trying. It was an experiment on practical jokes with Data, and you know how he doesn't get jokes. So come get me, please.
went out there. Hello.
Hello. I, just a real easily impressed yeoman, fresh out of the academy. Um,
No, he's got to go back to training on like what not to do because like
there's gotta be a class or there well no I think that there is. I think maybe they established that there is a class on like that teaches you like how to not fall for those kind of shenanigans because of the shenanigans that those people kept falling for, because people kept falling for gods and overpowered beings and like dropping and like deciding to quit their job to go live with Khan, literal literally Khan. um like I think they must have had like some like extra course, like like a seminar. That's it, like a seminar that everyone had to, a webinar most likely, or something that was in the holodeck that is just like So
Welcome. The how? It's like, so you met a godlike being and you want to leave your job.
Hold up.
Wait, we have a duty. And then someone comes in like in a bad costume. I am powerful God.
Oh, I want someone
Oh,
dressed up like
God.
Q. Someone dressed up like Q, being like, "I'm Q," but it would be like a mascot kind of Q. Oh no, you don't. I
It should be
I
a
will
video.
give you all. I can give you all of the powers of the Q if you just want them, because he
Oh
did do
my
that.
God.
He literally did do that. He did
Did
that. Um. Uh. I mean, I know he did it because he was trying to make Picard jealous, and Picard was like, "I'm not jealous. I don't want those powers. Are you? Are you bananas, man? I don't want that. Give it." And then Riker's like, "Well, maybe I could do that." And Picard's like, "Yeah, okay, go for it. Do it." And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I am. Okay, I'm gonna give everyone everything that they want. I'm gonna give Worf this really, really scary, aggressive Klingon woman who he has never ever asked for, because that's not
That's not his speed
that's
whatsoever.
not
He
his
was raised by
speed.
white people.
He was, yeah, he was raised by white people. Like he his first wife is mixed.
Yeah,
That's his speed.
we all know that guy, okay?
Yeah, like, and he's like, "Ooh, you want this?" Like, no. And like, "Oh, hey, 15-year-old child, do you want to be a fully grown adult man now?" Why would he want that? Like, that doesn't it doesn't even make sense. And I mean, I will say that Jordy probably said no to the curing of his blindness only just for the principle of the matter, because, and
Yeah.
also because, like, he gets along fine with his visor and then later implants, so he was just like, nah, I don't really need this, and nobody else is taking it, so it would be weird if I did. um was what episode, what's that was the first season, I think Tasha Yar was still alive. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, if Tasha
I
Yar
love
was already
Josh.
gone, the number one thing that he should have done would. Okay, Tasha's alive. I don't want this power anymore. I'm done.
Yeah. Tasha.
Now we're done. Now we're done. Okay, good.
I cried. I remember that episode as a kid and crying.
I didn't know that main characters could die until Tasha Yar died on a show. Like, I didn't know that main characters could die on a show. I just didn't. That didn't. And the way that it just happened, it
Yeah,
was
it was
very.
like,
It was like she got hit, which everyone gets hit. They get
yeah.
hit all the time. That's the show. And then they're like, she's dead.
And I was like, no, no,
Oh,
no.
I was like, oh, you just mean like for now. Oh, you just mean for now, right?
You're gonna bring her back, right? You're gonna do
Like,
the
like she'll be right back, right? Like they're gonna like, oh, she's dead, and then they're like back in sick bay, and they're like, oh, she was almost dead, or she was dead for a couple of seconds, but now she's okay. And then we were like, whoo, that was
she did.
stressful. No, and it
Gone.
was like, no, she's gone, and
She's gone. She's gone.
they're bringing back her body. Not 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 for Beverly to do anything except figure out what happened. It was shocking to me. And I will say, Tasha Yar is another example of a poorly utilized character. Um, but I will say that I think she gave up too soon. I think she gave up too soon. I think that um she didn't like where they were going, and I get it. If I had to be in like the main love interest in the episode Code of Honor, I would want to escape that show too.
Yeah.
Um so bad. Like I understand, like if I had to do an episode like that, I don't know if I would want to stay on that show. I wouldn't necessarily feel like they respected me or it was super safe or whatever
Yeah.
the hell. Um
I agree. I agree.
so like, and I do think that I think that they kind of, I like how they fixed the character. I wish that they had, instead of killing her, made her old.
They should have just done something else. Like maybe she goes on vacation. Like,
Well, she went, so in the alternate timeline, she went back in time with the Enterprise C, I think C, and then she got captured by Romulans. Um, was was in a forced marriage with one of them, had a child, and then tried to run away and was killed. But it makes me wonder, like, they could have just, I don't know, had her. They could have brought her out as an old lady. Because I think they could have had Sela as the uh Romulan human, looks like her, but I think they could have an old lady Tasha Yar, because I think that would have messed them up a lot. To see their friend, who is also not their friend, because that's a different Tasha Yar. That's a Tasha Yar that none of them know. The only person who actually kind of knows that Tasha Yar is Guinan, and Guinan has a memory of knowing a possibility of a person.
right.
And but I do think that that would have been fun to see more of. I think that,
To
like,
play that off more because even with Guinan's powers and whatnot, and her kind of going like,
I think it would have been cool because you would have had this old lady who would have been sitting in 10 forward talking to Guinan as if Guinan were the only person on the ship that she was friends with, that like
yeah,
knew her, even though all of these other people are around her and they're like, best friend, best friend, best friend.
yeah,
And
it
she's
would
like,
have been. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know.
like maybe this version of Tasha Yar did not hook up with Data. I just think that, like, um I think that they got they were real close with reutilizing that the character and the actress, but I wish I wish it could have been more, because I think that just having her be betrayed by her daughter was just sort of,
It just is like again one of those very 90s plot devices when it comes to women,
yeah.
and it was just so. It's just not. Again, sometimes we see that in Star Trek where it's just this ultimate failing, right? You've got everything is there. All the ingredients are
So
there.
close. It's
And then
so
could
close.
have you could have been a contender. And then you do
Well, Kess, like, she could have been a niece.
yeah,
She could have been an apprentice,
Yeah.
She could have been like a kid who wanted to be a space pirate or something like that. Uh, uh, yeah, like she could have been that kind of character that yeah, I mean, that's sort of what it sounded like. It kind of like how she was described, and then they made her absolutely not like that.
And
She,
they
she
sexualize.
ran away from home so that she could see the universe, and they
Right. That's what she
never
wants.
really. She was an explorer, and they never utilized that part of her character.
Because it
Um,
would have been nice to have her be like almost like a Wesley Crusher 2.0.
yeah,
Use her,
yes,
learn from everyone. She's got all these uncles and aunties on this ship who are going to teach her a lot of stuff.
the kid.
And
She's the
yeah,
kid. Because even though she's technically an adult, she's fully grown for her species, everyone else sees her as a 2-year old because that's how
yeah,
they should see her. And because she really doesn't totally understand how people,
right.
because it's,
She's never met other species like, that before. It would have also given Tuvok, maybe because he's missing his children,
mm-hmm.
that opportunity to kind of be that parent role that he would often mention, right? And we never really delve into that for him in his
He
character.
only talks about his kids like a couple of times, like
Yeah.
referencing being a parent
Yeah.
to his children. And well, I think about Kess. I I just wish that yeah, like as a kid, like she should have just been the kid on the ship. She should
The
have
kid
been the
in the ship.
kid. Like they
And
always
then that whole comparison would not have gone like so weird. Maybe you would have had like the conflict of like who gets to teach Cass first,
well, no, there
instead of
could have been some
silly.
conflict, but then
Yeah.
Tom would have been like, "Are you joking me? She's 2.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
No. Like maybe Neelix didn't want Tom teaching her because he thought Tom was like hitting on her. And Tom's like, "Oh my gosh, no, no, no. I like adults." You know,
Or it could have been like he didn't feel that it would be safe for her. Like
yeah, like he's trying,
in a
like he's
non-romantic kind of sense.
overprotective, and there's like
Exactly.
a lot of things that could have happened that would have been, I think, a lot more interesting, more enjoyable. Um, and I think that um, maybe most shows that have existed for a long time have characters that are poorly utilized, but Star Trek is really good at it. They're really good at making really good shows that are full of that have quite a few characters that they just aren't using the way that they need to.
Yeah.
Um, and yet we still like them because
We love Star Trek.
well, and I love Harry
All the
Kim.
sauces here, right? Just like I love Harry Kim is one of my favorites. He's so sweet. And we don't get enough of him in that kind of
Hmm.
fresh out of the academy, first
I would have
assignment
liked
jitters.
I would have liked to
Like
see a little bit more trauma. I got to be
yeah,
real. I think that it would have been nice, and this sounds horrible.
traumatized.
This sounds horrible that I'm
We're
saying
gonna
this, but I
traumatize
want to
you here.
remind everyone that Harry Kim is not real. But I think it would have made him a better character if if he had gotten fucked up. Like, you know,
Right.
like something had like he could still be Harry that we love, but maybe he's a little more violent. Maybe he because he saw things or was trapped in a thing.
Maybe he's more quiet and introspective and closed off and not
Yeah,
the we're used to seeing him trying to be
the
making everyone
optimist.
happy, and he's trying to please everyone, and suddenly his demeanor changes because this is his first real time dealing with things, and we don't really get to see that. He's
Right.
just like,
He's
ah,
he's like 22, 23 years old.
right,
I believe he's supposed to be, because he's this is his first assignment, fresh out of
yes,
the academy. He probably had done little tiny assignments as a cadet on ships. So he had experience,
but we
obviously.
don't see him be like, oh my god, yay, space, and we're doing the thing, and we
Like
don't
this
really
is
see
yeah,
that.
this is his first real position. So he's been in space. He knows how it works. But this is like his first time really being an ensign. And
Yes,
everything goes to shit. And it doesn't
we
get
don't
better.
see him
It
like
doesn't get better for a really long
what's
time. Not only that, but then he dies. And then he's replaced by himself. And
yes.
is he real even? I mean, he is. He is. But like, wouldn't that just wake you up in the middle of the night? And they
Well,
did
it
not
did for
have.
Sam. Remember, Sam is, she dies and is
Yeah.
brought and retains the memories, and she's having some issues, but we don't see that with Harry at all. It's
No.
just kind of
Harry's just like, well, that happened. I think that one of the biggest problems with Voyager is that they did not take any of the long term. Like, they tried having some things about long term trauma with being stuck on the ship. They had a little bit of it, but they were really light. And it was very episodic, like full reset for the most part. Like everyone, like horrible thing happened, next episode they're fine.
like, we did that
You know, like
happen.
the doctor apparently had a trauma that lasted 900 years. 900
And
years.
family that we only meet like very briefly, and
Yeah. But of that 900 years, like, yeah, that like hurt him so badly.
cut him deep to the quick.
Yeah, but he never, I mean, he did, like, of all of the characters, he's like really the only one who's actually had real therapy. Um
Right.
like on that ship. He's the only one, which is kind of funny. Um uh that and also I do want to say that the thing that happened with the doctor during that episode is literally the exact same thing that happened to Sam, and he didn't even think about it. The
Right.
doctor broke. He broke because a very big emotional thing happened to him.
Exactly.
He completely broke, and they had to erase part of his memory to get him to function again. And then when that didn't work, they had to have him work through it.
Yep.
And yeah, when the same type of situation was happening to Sam, he's like, my kid died 900 years
Look it up.
ago.
What kid? It's like,
No, he's like, I can't even talk to you because my kid that I knew for like 3 days died 900 years ago.